Hey, you know what this is? Of course you do, because you can't spend more than 5 minutes on Facebook, YouTube, or Amazon without seeing an ad for one of these silly things. They call it a zoom lens for your cell phone. They want you to believe that with their product you can turn this into this for about 25 bucks. Sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Almost too good to be true. I'm a professional photographer and I'm going to mess around with this thing and tell you what I really think and give you guys the truth. I was going to take this outside so I could shoot in a cool outdoor scene and have some really cool pictures of some outdoorsy kind of stuff. But it's fall in Seattle and guess what? It's raining. Before we crack this thing out and really start playing with it, we need to talk about what zoom actually is and what it does. I've heard a lot of people tell me over the last few years especially, hey, my cell phone can zoom. All I have to do is pinch the screen in and out like that. I can zoom. Why do I need this funky lens? Why do I need a fancy camera? Well, in the case of most cell phones and tablets and things like that, it has a fixed lens. And so when you're zooming, all you're really doing is what's called digital zoom. When you take a picture with your phone without it, you take a full-sized, full-framed image. You're just enlarging that section of the picture. You're not actually zooming in. And if you've ever tried to zoom in on a particular picture too much, you know that you can only go so far before the picture looks like crap and you can't see anything. That's the same thing that's going to happen with digital zoom, and that's why you have optical zoom. On an optical zoom lens, like this guy here, you have a lens in the back and you have a lens in the front. And the actual zooming is done by increasing the distance of the front lens to the back lens. This effectively takes the object you're trying to photograph and enlarging it using the optics before it reaches the camera sensor, not just artificially stretched. That's why using a true zoom, you can get a lot clearer picture without getting all smeared and funky looking. So the first reality check on this little guy is this is not a zoom lens. It's what's called a telephoto lens. It doesn't zoom. It doesn't have the ability to go from its widest angle and transition to its narrowest angle. It's either all or nothing. So them calling this a zoom is really technically not correct. And in the videos that you see online of them actually zooming in on an object, my best guess is they put this on, then they digitally zoomed so that it looks like there was a transition going on. That's kind of a little shady if you ask me. So now that you know a little bit about how all that works out, let's start playing with this thing, shall we? Now the first thing I noticed about this thing is that you're not going to be able to use it with a case on your phone. When you clip this lens over it, you're going to have a gap of a few millimeters between this lens and your true camera lens. And that's going to be a big problem when you try to take a picture. Another problem I see straight off is that this thing is made to fit many different types of phones. And if you have any kind of extra space there around the clip, that's going to be a problem when you go to turn the focus of the lens. The lens is going to slip and slide around and get out of position. So to test this lens, first of all, I'm going to stand back about 4 feet and use just my phone to take a picture of my buddy Yoda here. Then I'm going to clip on the telephoto lens and take a picture of Yoda, just to see how much closer that actually gets you. Then I'm going to take the picture that I originally took without the lens and I'm going to digitally crop it and see if there's any difference in picture quality.
This is Yoda from about 4 feet away, shot with just the phone. This is the phone up close to fill the entire frame. And this is Yoda using the telephoto clip-on lens. Notice the haziness and the funny discoloration and fuzz around certain objects in the picture. That's called chromatic aberration, a surefire sign of cheap optics.
So another thing included with this kit is a macro lens for macro photography, and that's like extreme close-up photography. Cameras are a lot like your eyes. You can only get so close to an object before you can't focus on it anymore. And that's where the macro lens comes in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of Yoda's face with my phone as close as I can get. And then I'm going to take a picture of Yoda's face with the macro lens as close as I can get. I'm going to crop the non-macroed image down to try to match the macroed image and see if there's a quality difference.
This is the image with the macro lens. I'm not too impressed with the color or the quality. Now this is the image cropped to try to match. I like the color and detail a lot better.
So as you can see, if you wanted to get a macro shot, just get as close as you can, take a picture, and then crop it the way you want. So let me wrap this up real quick. The ads for this thing says it's revolutionizing the photography world, and Canon and Nikon and those guys are shaking in their boots because your cell phone is going to turn into a multi-$1,000 camera rig. No, sorry, especially for 20 bucks. The optics just aren't there. The chromatic aberration, the shake, the finickiness of the focus and the fit, and even the macro lens didn't impress me at all. Your results may vary based on the camera in your phone and how this thing fits on and a million other factors. At the end of the day, for a $20 add-on, I wouldn't expect too much. If you just want to use your cell phone to take some shots around town, you're just going to have to live with the limitations. Because these cheap little add-ons, I don't think they're going to do it for you. If you enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel too, because I'm doing these new videos about once a week. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.